Aloha, this is Bill Best for On Exhibit. We've been visiting some of the most remarkable artists and studios and galleries here on the Valley Isle during this past year. And I hope you'll join me today as we visit certainly one of the most inspiring and creative places on Maui, the Hui Noeau Visual Arts Center. They're having their student and faculty exhibit, and we're going to find out more. We'll see some of the art and visit with some of the artists and the teachers as well. So join me. We're talking with the executive director of the Hui Noeau Visual Arts Center, Carolyn Killauer. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. Welcome to the Hui Noeau.
Getting ready for this wonderful show. It's the student faculty exhibit?
Yeah, we call it the Heart of the Hui Noeau.
Well, there's some fabulous pieces in here, and it would be hard to tell who's the student and who's the teacher.
Yeah, what we do is we invite our each of our teachers to join the show, and a whole selection of their students. So it's a showcase of not only the teachers' talents, but the classes they teach, as well as all the work done by the students. So if you're an artist, you can come and see what you can learn here at the Hui, and if you're a spectator, you can take a look and see about the wonderful work being done here at the Hui.
Tell us more about the Hui Noeau Visual Arts Center in Kalua Nui. It's quite an old structure.
Yeah, Kalua Nui is, it's 100 years old. We're coming up on 100 years old. It was built in 1917. It was designed by C.W. Dickey. It's a beautiful example of his architecture, which is unique to California and Hawaii. We repurposed the main house and the cottages, and now they house our studios. So they're fully functional studios, like a printmaking studio. In our stables is our ceramic studio. We have jewelry making studios and painting studios. And we also have glass blowing, and that's in a little outbuilding.
And wonderful classes for kids. Tell us something about those.
Well, we have after-school programs, and we have them in the studio so they can come here and learn ceramics, or they can learn jewelry making or metalsmithing. And we also have a 9-week summer camp, so kids can come for a week or a day or the full 9 weeks if they're interested.
And you sometimes get donations to help the kids with the summer camps.
Yeah, we do. We love to be able to let any child who would like to attend the Hui attend. So we accept donations, and we actually request donations so that we're able to offer scholarships to kids of any kids that just desire to come and enjoy camp with us.
Oh, it must be fun to be a kid in this environment. I mean, it's so inspiring. It's so very beautiful. I can't imagine anybody being here for any length of time and not wanting to pick up a brush or, start sculpting something.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. They have classes in our actual studios, so they get to use the different equipment that we have, whether it be printmaking or metalsmithing, as I said, and then they get to run around outside amongst these beautiful trees that are over 100 years old, and they have a great time.
Well, how lucky it is for you to be here in this fabulous place.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's a real joy to be here and be in this beautiful building, as well as surrounded by such talented people and such generous teachers that we have here at the Hui that share all their talents and have a passion for knowledge about their craft and the willingness to share it in a really strong way. So, good example of aloha.
By the way, they have a fabulous gift shop here, and I love the Christmases at the Hui. It's so beautiful, and you'll often find just marvelous things that are created by some of the students and teachers as well.
Yeah, we have a gift shop that houses paintings and jewelry and ceramics made by our students here at the Hui. We have different kinds of events here at the Hui where you can come and take a tour. So there's an actual formal tour of the building, of the estate. It's one of the only public estates open to the public. And so you get to come in here and you look across at the pineapple fields and you can really imagine what it was like to live here 100 years ago. So we invite you to come up and check it out, either with a class or a walk or a tour or a shop in our gallery.
And you have a series of wonderful events that go on here, along with the student faculty exhibit. And if people want to find out more about what's coming up, they can go to your website.
That's right. The website is huinoel.com, or you can call us here. We actually have real people that answer the phone.
Real people?
Yeah, we're happy to answer all kinds of questions for you and set you up with a class or a tour or just a visit to the property and just see how beautiful. It's open 7 days a week and it's free, so definitely take advantage of it.
People are starting to come in, so I think we'll move on and talk with a few of the students and teachers.
Well, great. Thank you. Thanks very much for coming up and visiting us here at the Hui, and I hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you so much. It's the opening of the student faculty exhibit. What's the subtitle again?
It's the heart of the Hui.
The Heart of the Hui.
Which means our teachers and our students. So we're very proud of all their work.
Thank you. We're here with Judy Biscard. Good to be with you on this opening of this special show. And I've been looking at your work, and we've seen your work in shows before.
Well, I have to say that I think this is a really good show. I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think I take a lot of classes because it's one way of furthering my art education, and I think the teachers are really good. So I did an oil painting. Tony Walholm is the teacher. And it's like an ongoing studio paint class, so it gets me painting at home as well as at the Hui.
Well, I can see some of Tony Walholm's influences, but you're not using enough gold.
Yeah. Well, I paint very differently from Tony, but we have a lot of fun in the class, I have to say. So.
I'm sure you do.
Michael Clements is another one. I did another one here that I'm starting to do cross media, where I'm interested in learning about pastel. So watercolor, pastel, encaustic, printmaking is a great, if anybody's interested in printmaking, we have fabulous classes here for beginners. I mean, if anybody just wants to start learning about printing, or drawing. Drawing is really important. So. Well,
you have 3 pieces in the show, and each one is so different that it just reminds me that the Hui Noeau is it's a great place to find your medium.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm kind of crazy about that. I do cross a lot of media, but I just can't decide which one I like better.
Well, congratulations on all your work. It's so good talking with you, Judy. We're here with Jane Thompson, one of the students.
Students, that's right, one of the students.
One of the students. As I said a little earlier, it's hard to tell the student work from the teacher's work.
And the teachers are so good here that they produce wonderful students.
And the students are so good that sometimes maybe they show up the teachers a bit.
Well, maybe from time to time.
Well, you have 2 pieces here, and to me they're very unusual because they're encaustic, and I know nothing about encaustic. Maybe you could explain.
Sure. These 2 I did in class, actually. Our teacher was Jeff Julin from Salt Lake City. He was a visiting teacher, and I'd never done encaustic before. And what it is just wax and a heat gun and applying things. So these were works that I did just to learn more about it, and I liked them. So
I do too. So this is wax. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but if you ran a fingernail across it, it would come right off, yeah?
Yeah, and if it sat in the sun for any length of time, and I could actually, with the heat gun, get rid of both of these in 5 minutes.
Oh dear.
No. That's the fun of it, because you can do things, and if you don't like them, bingo, they're gone. And
I see. Well, now, but you have, this looks like pen and ink work.
well, this is I got this off the internet from a guy named Mark Bennett, I think it is, in London, and he draws people's faces on the backs of envelopes. And I thought the eyes were so interesting that I copied it and put it on here, which is part of the process of doing encaustic. You can put things on top. This is squiggles from a pen. This is horsehair.
Oh, okay.
And there are many layers of color behind that. This one too. And it's just really fun and something new for me, and I'm just enjoying it thoroughly.
How long have you been taking classes here?
Since 1975.
Oh, no, really? I arrived in 1975.
So did I.
Well,
I came right here and took a class downstairs from Daryl Orwig, who
Oh,
was
Daryl.
teaching photography at the
Yeah.
time. So we worked in the dungeon of a dark room, and it was my first introduction to the Hui, and I've just been having great fun here ever since, because they're good classes, good teachers, good staff, the whole works.
so what classes do you take?
Well, right now I'm focusing on this, but I have done photography and watercolor and thought about abstract, but I haven't gotten there yet. But it's all here, so I could do whatever.
Whatever you want. I took a woodworking class here some time ago. They stopped doing that because the class, the woodworking shop was kind of cramped and maybe not as safe as it should be. So I think it was a good idea, but I wish they'd bring it back
That
again.
reminds me, I did a furniture class too and built 3 tables. I'd forgotten all about that.
I built a table too.
Good, that was really fun. Really fun. There's so
It
much
really
to do
was.
up here. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, it's been great talking with you, and good luck with all your wonderful projects.
Thank you. I'm having great fun. And it's thanks to the Hui.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Here at the opening of the Hui Noeau Visual Arts Center with J.B. Ray. How you doing?
Great, great. Thank you for coming.
You have a beautiful chalice in here. You're one of the teachers here, right?
Yeah, I started the place 32 years ago.
You started the whole place.
Yeah. They opened the back porch to us and we tore it down and made benches out of it.
Really?
Built it. We've been doing it ever since.
So you've been doing silver work, working with silver for quite a long time, evidently.
Years.
15?
50.
5-0. It's a little noisy in here. So this is your chalice, but these are also your students' work.
Yeah, and these are all separate pieces. Everything in here is by a different person. And it's nice because all the different processes we teach are represented right here, really. Enameling and casting and construction and fold forming, all the different kinds of things we teach. And my chalice I put in because it's what we want them to be aiming for. We've got 2 or 3 people that are doing nice work. There's a piece up here on the mantle by a fellow, and he's all hand raised, and he did it himself. And
Well, there's just great pieces in this show. And
it's a great show.
it really is. I haven't been to a show here in the Hui in some time, and I don't know, it just seems like the student work has just improved exponentially.
I feel the same way. When I came in to judge, I couldn't get over it. I'm proud of our stuff, and the ceramics are amazing. And I got to help Tony while he was judging the paintings, and I couldn't leave it alone. I like the stuff better than what was in Art Maui, actually.
Well, this is wonderful. It's lovely to see your work, and I can't encourage you enough to keep doing what you're doing.
We'll be here.
Thank you. We're here with Pamela Neswald, who is one of the artists here involved with the student faculty Heart of the Hui show. And congratulations, you've got a piece here that it would be hard for me to describe. So it's up to you.
Well, a lot of people say it looks like a dog bed, and it does. But it's a crocheted piece. It defines a space. It's called a woman's place. And I have a little tag that's hand embroidered that asks women, please remove your shoes. Men, please ask for a woman to invite you in. So it's about personal space. And I crocheted a large piece of rope.
You didn't use this crochet hook, did you?
I did.
This is what you used.
Yep, a big
Amazing.
crochet hook.
And they teach crochet here at the Hui?
I don't know.
This would be more of a sculpture then.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure it out.
It's a sculpture, but it's also conceptual art.
And there's a message too, I see that.
Yeah, it has to do with personal space and men and women interaction. So a couple times I told a man the rules, which of course here anybody could do whatever they want, really. But women, please remove your shoes. Men, please wait for a woman to invite you in. And at first they can be a little like, hey, why is this like a reverse discrimination? But when they get invited in, they like it.
That makes it special.
Yeah, they like getting invited in.
So is this your medium? I mean, do you work with ropes, or is this something kind of different for you?
Well, actually, I'm a really naughty artist.
A naughty artist.
Yeah, so...
Where's the drum? We need a drum.
I do a lot of different things. I work in different media, different styles, and whatever the message or the inspiration at the time, I listen to God.
Well, this is a kind of a beautiful thing about the Hui No'eau is there's just so much to offer as far as classes. You can learn just about anything you could ever want to learn, and in this inspiring place to learn in too.
The inspiration.
Yeah.
And that's where Tony Walholm comes in. I have a piece in here somewhere also that was very much inspired, and well, Tony's class was definitely the catalyst.
Well, maybe we should talk to Tony. Where is he? He's over there.
He's right there.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your art with us, and good luck with all of your exciting projects.
Thank you so much.
We're with Tony Walholm, and you look dandy tonight, I must say.
Well, it's the role of the artist to present himself in splatterings of his excess.
I think so too. Yes. And I see you have a piece in the show, and I've been hearing rumors that you are one of the teachers.
I am. I teach a core class in abstract painting, intermediary abstract, and an extensive class.
And do you encourage your students to use a lot of gold paint?
No, I encourage them to use whatever paint is their inner necessity of theirs to get on the canvas. Who am I to tell them what color? Just bring in the gold. Yeah, right.
Well, you love the gold. Anybody who knows your work, they've seen your pieces, and they know that you love big pieces and you love gold.
I do. I do. It's Salvador Dali once said, "Gold is the most mystical of all of the colors." So as a foundation, it works really well. In the wrong hands, it comes out like Hallmark, but when you work it well, it's very spiritual.
So, Tony, tell us about this piece. What does it all mean?
This means it's a nice day to wake up. This is called morning meditation, and it's like that moment of clear-headedness before you figure out just where am I yet, and you take a breath and you pause just to breathe and be there with the day before you jump out and get into it.
I dig it the most, man. Really. Well, it's great working with you, or being with you. I'd love to work with you and take some classes with you, too.
I really wish you would. I work with you almost every day that you're on the air. It's much easier than having to select my own music.
Well, it's great to hear that because it's not always easy to spin those discs.
Yeah, well, you do a magnificent job.
Well, it's nice to know that I inspire a few artists in the world, especially you, Tony. We've loved your work for years and years and years. And do you have a website people can refer to?
I'm working on it.
Oh,
I'm working on.
I think I asked you that question years ago.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. You have to see it in person. Well, what a great show. Your students really love you. They've been bragging on you.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I love them too.
You know, most people who know your work, they know you love to work really large. And you were saying, well, if you had brought one of your regular pieces in, there would be no more room for anybody.
That's right. I brought an uncommonly small piece for me in. And I felt it was much more important to get the work of the students who put their hearts and souls into it, and they often don't get a chance to be seen. So.
Well, and we don't all have a studio where we can do gigantic pieces of art.
True. Much less transport it from class to.
I'll have to visit your studio one day so we can see the grandeur of it all.
You have an open invitation.
Thank you, Tony. Tony Walholm here at the opening of the Student Faculty Heart of the Hui show at the Hui Noia Visual Arts Center. Carmen Gardner, my old friend from Ka'oi radio days.
There you go, verification.
That's right.
Hi, Bill. It's good to see you.
You too. And I don't remember when we were working at Ka'oi that you ever did artwork. Did you?
No, my art was radio then, playing on the turntables and compact Laserdisc.
That was such a modern thing at the time. Oh man.
That was Eric Clapton on compact Laserdisc.
We were so advanced at the time. Well, it's great to see you, and since those Ka'oi days, you have gone on to become a spectacular artist, and this is an example of your work right here.
Wow, thank you, Bill. It's kind of like a return to my first love, and I think I've always been really privileged to pursue one art form or another. And so after leaving radio, leaving theater, coming back to my senses, I also came back to my first love of painting.
So you started taking classes at the Hui?
I did. Well, yes, I took a class here, and then I also took some at the college from Connie Adams, rest in peace. And she was an inspiration. And then I went to Charleston, South Carolina, and took some classes from Mary White, who has been an inspiration and a mentor for years.
Well, wow. I mean, this is the result, and it's just so beautiful and so touching. You have an interesting story that goes with it because you discovered this couple on the internet.
I did. And what happened was I saw it on the internet and neglected to bookmark it. So it took me about a day to find it again. And when I did, I set about looking for who owned the rights to this photo and what was the story, because it's one of those things that make you go, takes your breath away.
Yeah.
And so I knew it had to be painted. So long story short, took me about 3 weeks, and I tracked it down to a magazine in London, England, and the picture editor, and I wrote to him and I asked him about, this image, and he wrote back and said, "Is this the one?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Would you like it in high def?" And I said, "Yeah." And anyway, he sent not only the image that I was speaking of, but the entire photo shoot in high definition was in my inbox the very next day, along with the rights to use those photos as reference.
And this couple, they're in their 90s, and evidently she's in a home, has Alzheimer's, and he comes and reads to her.
Yes, he does. And they're sort of like a real-life Notebook couple. The movie The Notebook, it wasn't based on them, but this is Jack Potter and Phyllis Potter, and I painted this in 2013, and at the time Jack was 91 and Phyllis 93, and he goes to visit her every day and reads from his journals that he kept beginning in about, I think, right before World War II and right before he met Phyllis.
Wow.
At a dance.
And this is watercolor?
It is watercolor.
Oh my gosh, wow.
The white in her hair, that's the paper.
The white is
The white in the
paper.
hair is the paper, and same with him. So we don't have any white in watercolors, so I had to do a lot of negative painting around the white to keep.
Wow, is that interesting? Well, so you're actually a teacher here, is that right?
Yes, I am. I teach watercolor, watercolor basics, so that would be like beginning, and then florals classes, and we do a little mini workshop that's about 4 hours long from noon to 4, where we combine pastels and watercolor, and the participants can take a finished painting home with them.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good luck in all your endeavors. It's lovely to see you. And geez, if I lived any closer, I'd come up and take some classes with you because I love your work.
Bill, you just come anyway, okay?
Okay, I can just walk in. And
Just come anyway.
what an invitation. Thank you, Carmen. Carmen Gardner here at the Hui No'i. Well, wasn't this exciting? Visiting with the students and the artists at the Hui No'i Visual Arts Center's student and faculty exhibit, The Heart of the Hui. And I think you got the feeling, the heart of the Hui. It's what it's all about here, and the creativity and the inspiration to be at the Hui No'i Visual Arts Center. Their student faculty exhibit is going on for a month or so. Check with the Hui if you can. They're usually open, I think, from 10 to 4. And it's just a great place to learn if you want to get started in the arts or if you've been involved with the arts in any way. On exhibit, that's our show with Carl Ruzicki. He's the cameraman, and thanks to Larry John for his support. We are on the internet. You can see several of our shows on exhibit with Bill Best on the internet. And I thank you for watching, and aloha.